Hey squad, welcome back. Today we're diving right back into some more great Logic Pro sampling using the quick sampler and a few other important tools to help us take this foundation sample from here to here. Once again, I'll be showing you how you can search for no copyright, royalty-free jazz samples and transform them into something really cool in your productions. And best of all, I'll have this entire project downloadable for you to explore and experiment using the link in the description. Anyway, it's that time, so let's dive in. Now the source of today's sample is taken from this no copyright, royalty-free composition right here, and I'll have a link in the description where you can go and check out their work and support them. Let's have a quick listen to the intro of this and then I'll show you the section I'm really interested in. Okay, cool. Now I'm more interested in this section up here. Lovely. Now the first thing we need to do is establish what the tempo of this piece is. If you play this piece all the way through, there's no drums, so there's no hard rhythmic pulse for successful analysis using the Logic BPM counter. So I'm going to have to do this one manually. Quickest way to do this is to listen to the piece and identify a 4-bar section. So let's have a listen for 4 bars of music. I'm going to just split here, Command T. So now let's zoom in a bit to take a closer look and see how well this is looping. I'll switch the cycle loop on and hear how smoothly this is looping. This is pretty tight, and I think I've been really fortunate in this one because this piece may well have been produced at either 60 BPM or 120. So let's put the metronome on and have a listen. Yep, I reckon it's 60 BPM. I'm going to go through this and chop this into 8-bar chunks. So let me do that and I'll come straight back. Okay, so here are my segments and this one right here is the bit I want to use. Next thing I want to do is grab this, drag and drop it over here onto Quick Sampler Optimized. And the Quick Sampler automatically opens up with a new instrument containing our sample. Now, unlike my last video on the Quick Sampler where we worked in slice mode, today we're going to go for classic mode. So let's come over here to classic, and if I was to press play and hold. The other thing I want to do over here is come and click the flex button right here. This region is now flexed, so we can adjust the tempo up or down without it losing its integrity. The other thing I want to do is change the root key to C3. I like to start at C3. I'm going to leave this detuning as it is, and I'm going to leave everything else unchanged. Okay, the next step, like I showed you before, is we come over here to MIDI effects, and we're going to go for the velocity processor and make sure that we're on value right here and set this to 127. This means, of course, the velocity is always going to be the same every time I strike a note. I don't really need the original source audio because I won't be using much else from this. So I'm just going to take this off screen. And now I'm going to adjust the tempo up to 160 BPM. Okay, so let's record this in as MIDI. quantize. Now I'm going to repeat this region twice using the key command, Command R. And on this third region right here, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to transpose this up 3 semitones to a minor third onto E flat. So what we're going to get is this. Lovely. Now it's time to start adding some real character to this sample, as this is going to be the foundation of the overall track. And I'm going to use these 2 cool plugins to give me that effect. The first one, of course, is the Waves Retrofy, and the second one is the Abbey Road Saturator. Now on the Retrofy, I've gone for Vinyl 1, and I've made some modifications to the plugin to give me the tonal character I'm looking for. As for the saturator, I've just gone for the default setting, which is giving me just enough saturation. So let's play back and have a listen, bringing them in one after the next. Okay, so you can hear how much these plugins have aged the sound of the audio and taken it from a very clean, modern sound to resembling something that would have probably been taken from an old vinyl record. Now, if you've watched all the way up to this point, I would hope I'm bringing you value. Remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps with the algorithm in terms of pushing me out to a wider audience. Anyway, let's get back to it. Okay, it's now time to start building the rhythm section with a nice drum groove. So check out this loop right here. I'm sending this through to a drum bus. Let's call this drums. And on the bus, of course, I've got my Maserati GRP and my LA2A. Okay, I'm going to do a classic thing that we did back in the day, which was layering our drums. I'm going to filter out a good portion of the low end and the low mids from the drum groove, and I'm going to layer this with some more drums. So let's have a listen to the filtered drums. Now let me load up some more drums to build the drum groove I'm really looking for. Okay, so here are the next 2 elements added to my drum groove, kick drum pattern and the snare. I've muted the original drum loop for now, and then I'll bring this in a second. Cool. Now these drums are coming from the awesome Arcade by Output.com. And the line is the Honey line, and the kit itself is the My Light kit. Now the kick is on C3. And the snare pattern is here. I'm definitely going to be using some more elements from this particular suite. And just like this original drum loop right here, we've got the kick and the snare going through to the drum bus and being processed by the Maserati GRP and the LA2A. Okay, so it's time to add some more elements. First of all, I want to add this bass pattern from the same My Light suite that we used before on Arcade. Let's have a listen to the bass. I'm not going to use all of that. I'm just going to go with something like this. The other thing I want to use as well is this guitar part. So let's just program those in and listen to how things are building up. Sounding lovely. Okay, let's find a few more things to add on top, and then we'll start thinking about wrapping up this video. Okay, so I've spent a fair bit of time exploring a few things to add on top of this production, but I just settled for some vocals, and the vocals are once again coming from Arcade, and the line we're using is the Jukebox Vocals line. And the suite we're going for this time is the Brand New Ride. So right here we've got a whole range of really cool vocal licks, and this lick right here is the one I'm going to lead with. Rolling down the road in my brand new ride. Okay, I made some minor adjustments right here using the controls on here. However, I've got 3 instances of this Arcade suite, and they're all going through to a bus, and on the bus I've got my Silk vocal and my Space Rider plugins, just to give me the tone and the texture I'm looking for. Once you have established a pattern or a section that you're happy with, for example, this vocal section right here. Rolling down the road in my brand new ride. Give it up. Okay, I can now bounce in place. This of course will convert this part into audio, and then I can save on vital computer resources by switching off Arcade. I'm leaving it live for now because my computer can handle it, but definitely as good practice I'd say save on some resources because you may well need that extra computer power when it comes to mixing. So have a quick listen to what I've got so far with these vocals. Rolling down the road. Now remember to download and try out Arcade from output.com. 30-day free trial. You got nothing to lose, and you'll be amazed at how well stacked this resource is. I'm using elements from this all the time. However, before we play out, let me show you what I've got going on my master bus. Once again, I'm using the Waves Studio Rack in my master bus, and I've got these tools plugged in right here. So the first one is, of course, my Aphex Vintage Exciter. Then I've got the Abbey Road Vinyl. Then I've got the J37. Then we're going through to the TG mastering unit, and then finishing off with my L3 Ultramaximizer. I've covered all of these before, but at the end of the day, I want to treat this project with some good old vintage analog character. Why not use my StudioVerse link to head over there and check out my chains? This one right here is the Boom Bap Mix Chain 3, and there are others there you can try out. Remember also, you can try out all of these Waves plugins absolutely free of charge. Links will be in the description for everything, including this project right here, where you can download and experiment to your heart's content. Until next time, I'm Deuce. I'm out. Peace.